Welcome to Don't Wait Till Pigs Fly with host Nancy Becker on Global Voice Radio. Nancy and her guests will share tips and recommendations on moving forward in your life and business now and not waiting till pigs fly. Here's your host, Nancy Becker.
Hey everybody, good afternoon and welcome to another episode of Don't Wait Till Pigs Fly, where we have conversations on processes, strategies, and all sorts of good things to help your business grow. Today we're talking with Jason Kanigan, and he is the founder of Cold Star Technologies, a professional services firm that helps tech companies who are struggling to scale fast. With a background in operations management and continuous improvement, Jason was a plant manager at 25. After many years of experience in sales, Jason became a consultative sales trainer. And in 2009, he moved from Vancouver, Canada to Wilmington, North Carolina. From 2011 through 2016, Jason ran Sales on Fire, his sales training, funnel design, and copywriting consultancy, concentrating on improving conversion for clients. He has worked with Inc. top 1,000 firms as well as startups and small businesses to improve the effectiveness of and save money on their sales and operations processes. After starting the Closing Engine, which provides outsourced sales teams for high-ticket pros, with a great co-founder, Jason moved full-time into running Cold Star Tech. Welcome so much, Jason. It's great to have you with us today.
Thank you, Nancy. So that's what it says on the tin. Let's dig into how we can help your viewers, listeners, random passersby.
That sounds like a plan. I know that it's something I'm going through right now, is trying to figure out all of this. And one of the things that you and I have talked about in the past is using funnels. And, you know, when I hear the word funnel, I think of either the thing that I use in the kitchen when I'm trying to pour something into something, or living in tornado country, I see funnels as being tornadoes. So what is a funnel?
Well, it's a filtration process. So when you think of a funnel, the whole idea is you get a lot of people in at the top and a fewer people down at the bottom, right? And in between is this thing called qualifying, where we test and make sure, hopefully, if we're doing a good job, that this individual who's going through the funnel should be there at all. Maybe they shouldn't be. If they're just not a fit, they should be sent somewhere else. So that's the idea behind a funnel and why it's shaped in that sort of descending way.
Okay, and how do you do it? What do you do to create this?
Okay, so funnels have been around a long time. I've been in the online marketing space since around 2011, and I don't recall people using the word funnel back then, but I know that the concept has been around a long time. And we sort of grew into it. I think by 2015, most people had a pretty good idea. And a lot of the tools that we take for granted, like ClickFunnels, were made during that time. And now they're just like this is what you use. But but back then, there wasn't anything like that. So what you should be thinking about is, I get leads from somewhere. That's where I'm going to start. And the end is I'm going to show them some sort of conversion tool. Okay. Now, back in the day, the funny thing is people get really wrapped up in the technology. And I'm always saying technology is glue, apply it last. If you think of a model airplane, you want to test fit things. If you don't, you're just going to get glue all over your hands and the thing's going to look like crap and probably going to get your hands stuck to the model, right? So back in the day when we didn't have the internet, I remember sending out fax blasts. I'm old enough to do that. And I mean, the internet was there then, but you could do this with direct mail. You could do this with advertising in a newspaper. That's the technology of the era, right? And that stuff still works. So don't get caught up in the whole, oh, I need this or that. It's just been a simple over the last 20 years movement of stuff that worked offline to stuff that works online. And so you need a traffic source from somewhere and a conversion tool at the end, whatever that is. Sometimes it's a sales letter. Sometimes it's a video sales letter or VSL, right? Sometimes it's a call with a salesperson. There can be many other conversion tools, right? And many traffic sources. And in the middle, the thing that I really stress is that you have to have this qualifying instrument. You can't just throw something at the wall and hope that something sticks.
Really interesting. I know right now I've been talking a lot with my different programs and everything that I'm doing is that I need to have a funnel. I need to have a funnel, you know, and I've read on them and I've looked at them and it looks like it's this huge, big process where, you know, you get somebody who likes something on Facebook and then first thing you do is you send them a thank you for liking it. And because you've liked it, you send them a, how about having my free, you know, whatchamacallit? And then they take your free whatchamacallit and then you have to send them something else. But I still I don't get where the conversion comes in. You know, give us a walk through what a funnel really is.
Okay, so at some point you have to have an offer, right? The beauty of affiliate marketing, for example, is you don't even have to have the offer yourself. It can be somebody else's offer. And you're the traffic source, you're sending it to them. And it's sort of tagged to that this is your lead. And so if they buy, then hey, great, you get the affiliate commission. But what conversion means is at some point somebody's got to sell something. You're not going to get around that, right? And that means you have to have something to sell. So that could be anything from an ebook to a video series to a physical product to a service, right? All kinds of things. And you need that. You need a way of taking somebody, identifying that they're interested in what you have to offer, and then offering them this thing and taking the money and then fulfilling the service, right? So there are some very nice people online who are on YouTube and they build a channel, let's say reviewing cameras, okay? Could be anything, but that's just, I'm a camera nut, so it's the first thing that came to mind, right? And you may think that these folks are doing it out of the goodness of their heart. They make 20-minute, half an hour, 40-minute, even longer videos, perhaps talking about the uses of the camera, the features, how it looks, how it stacks up compared to others. And some of them are very entertaining. They'll walk around and use them and get into funny situations and that, right? Again, they're not doing this out of the goodness of their hearts. They have an affiliate agreement in place, and there will be a link in the description of the video essentially saying, if you like this thing and you want to buy it, and they'll tell you it's an affiliate link, right? Go here to this sales page, and the company that's selling it they'll take your money, they'll send you the camera, and these folks who are doing the reviews will make a commission, and good for them. And so what they're doing is providing not just traffic, but like educated traffic, right? These aren't people that they randomly walked out and grabbed with a net on the street and dragged over there, right? You came on looking to be entertained in this area, right? And learn about cameras, maybe not even this specific kind of camera, but cameras in general. And so you're in that target market, and that would be the top of the funnel. And then as the education goes on, that's part of the qualifying process, right? Where you start to think more and more, hey, I like this thing. Hey, I want this thing. Hey, I've got to have this thing. And suddenly you produce the effect of magically having the thing. So the conversion in that case, which goes back to your question, Nancy, is that sales page for the camera. Now, one last point I want to get in here before you ask your next question is that sales page, if the lead up is very good, doesn't have to be anything special. It can be a picture of the camera, some branding, and a buy button, right? There doesn't need to be any copy on Canon's latest camera webpage, right? They'll put some specs there or whatever, but they might go with 4 lines and a buy button. that's okay. Or they'll direct you to a dealer and you got to go there. But that warm up, that qualification process, that's the way in which a funnel works to get that buyer excited.
Yeah, that's really interesting. So it doesn't have to be this huge 50-step process. You can have a couple of steps and you're there.
Right. And a lot of this comes back to your traffic source. Right? You can get traffic from lots of different places. A popular thing to do these days is to pay for Facebook ads. Right? That seems to be the default where people go, and it's very easy to lose your shirt doing that. If you don't have $3,000 to test, I wouldn't even start. Somebody's going to disagree with me, some Facebook ads expert, but that's been my experience over the last 6-7 years, having been one of the guys who lost $3,000 very quickly testing right before advanced targeting came out back in 2013, and even more recently. Even when you get expertise on your side, it doesn't guarantee a thing. But you could get traffic. There's things called solo ads, right, where people have a list, and well, for better or worse, you don't know until you buy the thing. That owner of the list hopefully is honest and tells you, hey, this is a match with your offer, right? These people ought to be interested in this kind of thing. You can go rent a list. There's a company called Barron's, for example, that I and some business partners of mine have rented financial people who are interested in like stock trading, those leads from, and it's pretty easy to make a profit on that. And so like you're saying, it doesn't take a lot of steps. If you have a good match of your list or your leads, that niche, right, to your message, it could be like a 2-step process. And so, there's an idea that, if it's a higher ticket item, and I'm used to selling things that are $6,000 and up. That's what we did at the closing engine. That was our minimum price for our third-party sales company. There's an idea that, it's got to be more intense and have more steps if it's a higher ticket thing. That's not necessarily true. You can do it pretty quickly if you've got all the right stuff in place. And that can mean testimonials, advocates from like well-known people. Like if Frank Kern comes on and says, this cup is amazing, it's a $16,000 pewter thing, personally kissed by the Pope or something like that, we only have a limited supply, right? That's going to add to the interest in this thing if you've got the right target market. So yeah, these things don't have to be as complicated. You see these things mapped out, upsells, downsells, cross sells, and that. Look, I'm majorly experienced at this stuff, and my eyes cross trying to follow it. I'm like, yeah, wow, okay. You don't need that. And also, every additional step you put on there is another place for the funnel to fall down. Yeah. This is something that we should dig into. I was
just gonna ask you that. So let's just jump right into it. Tell us how it falls down.
Okay. The thing, there's always many the things, but the thing about funnels when you're making them is you need to understand it's going to fall down. Okay? Every funnel is broken. Every single one at the start. And so relax. It's okay. It's not a reflection on you as a human being. I build funnels. I know they're not going to work. And I think of this, there's a movie called The Longest Day, and it's World War II after that, obviously, but it has like every actor you could think of in the era, the John Wayne era in it, right? And they have this scene where they've got I think it's a D-Day thing. It's sort of like Saving Private Ryan, only less violent, right? Because it was made probably in the late 50s, I think. They're sending some U.S. Army guys up into a canyon to get things started, right? And that commanding officer is sending his guys in one at a time, and he knows they're going to get killed. And it's like zip, bam. And I want you to think about this as like leads, right, that you're bringing in. They're going to come in and they're going to fall down at some point in the funnel, but you're going to learn something, right, where the enemy is, how far you can get. Each guy gets a little bit farther until finally the thing succeeds, right? So realize that the funnel is going to break. It is broken at the start, and start sending traffic to it and observing. And this is why an uncomplicated funnel with just a few steps is very good, because now I can really watch, okay, where did the lead fall out of the funnel? And okay, that's the area in which I have to pay some attention here. Right? There's no sense in working on, for example, this great sales letter or video sales letter at the end of the process if nobody's getting past day 2 of the education series leading up to it, right?
Right.
So you got to watch.
So a question that just popped into my head on all of this is, and you know, I talk all the time about the ideal client and finding, you know, the right person to work with. But I kind of always assumed that the funnel was actually built to find that client. And it sounds like now that's not the case.
Yeah, I don't think you're wrong. I will make a little adjustment to that. Okay. We'll probably get into some numbers in a bit, which will make people really cross their eyes. But for right now, you're gonna go find some people, right? And I like just think of getting a bucket of people and dumping them into the top of this like Italian mixing machine or something like that, right? And they're and they're going in and they're going to get sorted or sifted through that top layer, okay? And this is part of the qualification process. So yeah, ideally, I would like to find a traffic source that has a pretty good matchup with who I am, what I want, what I have to offer, right? But it's never going to be one lead that's unqualified that comes out of nowhere to one qualified lead to one sale, right? That if that one lead did that, that would be amazing and perfect if that happened every time. It's never going to happen, right? So I strive for that. It's never going to happen, and I can filter though, okay? So I might get it to, I don't know, 10 people coming into the funnel, 5 are qualified leads, and I get 1 sale. That would be great. That would be a 20% conversion rate, right? We'd be ecstatic.
That would be wonderful.
About that, yeah. Yeah, probably, not necessarily impossible, but difficult. So that qualification process up top in the funnel, before any kind of an offer is ever shown, that's where you can filter for, hey, this is who I work with. If you're not this kind of person, and I call this the client from hell, right? Every person who has been around the block has had their client from hell, and probably more than one. And you realize it's your own fault. You took them on board. You accepted the money. And so you got to take responsibility for that, right?
Yeah.
So, and I'm never going to have that again. So you think back to what did they say and what did they do? And you can build this into the top of your funnel. So if you're saying stuff like this is something you would say to your lead, right? Then we're probably not a fit. Like if somebody's a whiner in my world, like they blame everybody else. Oh, it's the guru's fault. Oh, the technology is too complicated. Oh, I can't figure it out. It's not a fit for me. Sorry, I need action takers who can figure it out. So I'm going to say something like that at the top of my funnel. Or somebody who's not making maybe $40,000 a month, right? Because then they can't afford my services if they're not above that number, right? Approximately. And so I will say, if you're not in this situation, look, go through, take what you can for free, go use it. I'm happy for you to go use what you learn. Come back when you're at that point, right? So you can use the top part of your funnel to qualify for that ideal client. And it is important to know your ICA. One thing, Nancy, that I've seen over the years that just makes me shake my head is seeing, and this is a warning for people watching, don't make an avatar out of purely imagination, okay? Go out there into the real world with the idea of, I suspect this kind of thing is out there. Let me mix it up and find out what the truth is, what is actually out there, and then build your ICA to match what exists. Because I see all these unicorn avatars that are made that don't exist. They're just not out there. And so you're designing now a funnel and maybe even a product or a service for somebody who doesn't really exist. And then is it any wonder why nothing happens? So I'd like people to avoid that fate.
That's so true. It really is. All right, let's paint a picture of what we've really been talking about. You've got up here, you've got the top of the funnel where everybody's falling in. You got down here, you've got the sale. What happens in between? You know, I get that you're doing you're checking them out, making sure, but you can't just say, hey, people, I want you to buy my widget, and have them all fall in there. And at the end, they have what happens in the middle? What are the things that you have to do to finally get them to the point where they're buying that widget?
You could do that. You could dump them all and say, but this is a big problem in newbie affiliate marketing that you'll see is if you go on forums and that, you'll see, hey, I got some leads, I sent them to the affiliate offer and they didn't convert. Well, you didn't warm them up, right? You gotta warm them up. And so that is part of that qualifying and education process up top. So it might be 2, 3, 4 emails, maybe with some videos, maybe written. You got to test these things and find out. First of all, you got to have some kind of a lead magnet, right? I think everyone's pretty much in agreement on that. Either that or a success story, which is also a lead magnet. But when you got something to say and people go, I want that, that's just as good, right? As a write-up of 7 tech tools that you can't afford to miss in affiliate marketing or something like that, right?
Sometimes it's even better to hear somebody, saying this is what they've done, and you go, oh, I want that too,
Right. Yeah, very valuable, very valuable. And the words and phrases that you use are really important. They have to be the words and phrases that your target market uses to describe the problem and the solution. It can't be what you think. Now, I've been a copywriter for over 20 years. I started studying copy in college. Dan Kennedy hadn't even founded Glazer Kennedy yet with Bill Glazer. He was self-publishing books. And that's what I found in libraries. And I remember one fat yellow book that was kind of a workbook, and one skinny little no BS book that he had about being a contrarian, which I really, really liked. Back in this is in the mid 90s, right? So I've been a copywriter for a long time, and I have to tell you, every time that I've sat down and thought, well, I know what the target market is thinking, without checking, I am wrong. I have been wrong. I will be wrong every single time that I do that. I don't do it anymore. Okay? So you have to get those words and phrases right. And you can go get them off Amazon and in book reviews and that kind of thing. You can just strip that stuff right out. For me, I'm experienced enough. It sings out to me. I just see the phrase. It might as well be glowing on the screen. And I just go, okay, there it is. Or you need to talk to them, listen to them, look at complaint sites, look at reviews of products, maybe where somebody says, like, say, software as a service, oh, I wish this did that, and it doesn't do that. And if you have 2 or 3 people who are saying the same thing, you got a winner there, right? I can go build a product that solves that problem and have something for sale. Okay. So these are the kinds of things that you can use up top to attract those people. And then you can talk to them in that indoctrination sequence, as we call it, where you're saying, okay, here are the problems, here are the typical things that it solves, here are the experiences people have when they get it, right? What they've been going through, and then what happens when you get it, right? So, and storytelling is very powerful. That was one of the things at the Closing Engine that we really concentrated on, was getting a bunch of success stories out of our clients, written down and recorded in audio as well, for our salespeople, so that they could learn those and use them in the sales calls whenever they were just like a great trump card, right? If you're playing a card game. They get attention and they resonate very, very well. So this, again, is where some testing is going to be involved, right? You go and then you give them 2 or 3 of these things, right? and then send them to the offer page, and maybe it doesn't convert. It's still that little soldier just died there on the beaches in Normandy, right? We didn't get far enough. Okay, I'm going to add a fourth one, right? And ching, okay, suddenly it worked and we're making money. Great, right? Consistently. So that is how a funnel could work. There's lots of different structures. And remember, technology is glue, apply it last. Write it down in English on a sheet of paper first, maybe with some arrows, right? Start with that.
It's my favorite thing to say is write it down.
Yeah,
I hear
almost
you.
nobody
That
does.
makes a lot of sense. When someone does this, we started talking a minute ago about numbers. Let's jump into the numbers right now. You said there could possibly be a 20% conversion rate. How reasonable is that to assume you're going to get that?
Not very. It really depends again on the list. If you think of a Venn diagram, the two overlapping circles with the part in the middle, if they're really, really overlapping, and if I can buy somebody else's list or access to it, and I know they've bought product A, and product A kind of leads into mine or is very close to mine, right? It's related to mine somehow. Okay, like a flash for a camera or something, right? Or a lens. This is going to be pretty good. And if I've got a very good offer, that's when you can start seeing that kind of possibility. The number one problem that I've been doing funnel diagnosis calls since 2012. Okay, it's been a long time. The number one problem that I have seen over and over again is that the poor person who comes to me doesn't have anywhere near enough leads coming in to get to their money target. Now, they have not thought of their money target or written it down or whatever, right? You have to decide, I want to make $5,000, or I want to make $50,000, or I want to make $500,000, right? You have to decide, and then you can build backwards to the traffic that you need and go get that. But what will happen is people have this very wishy-washy target. You know, it's $10,000 would be nice or whatever, maybe. And then through the system that I teach, we back out to how many leads do you need, and they need maybe 10,000 leads, right? But the problem is with their effort, what they're doing right now, and the structure they've got in place, they've got maybe 2,000 leads coming in over that time period. And I've seen this over and over again. It's not even close. The order of magnitude that you need is much higher. And the sad thing, the thing that really gets me down about this, is that the person is beaten before they start. If they don't know this, if they don't know their numbers, which is the language of marketing, you have to do a little math. Sorry, not everyone's going to be delighted to hear that, but you have to. You're going to end up beaten before you start and not know it, and you'll put in all this effort and get very little. And it's sad. It's just plain sad.
So there's no reason to even try to do something like this unless you've got 50,000 leads?
I think it's a matter of like realistic expectations. Okay. Like, oh, I'm going to make a new product and then I'm going to launch it. Right. And you see these guys going around, they make a quick plug-in or something like that. Right. And then they go around shopping to all the big affiliate marketers and try and get them on board. And it's like, this is too late. You needed to be doing this a year ago. You needed to be doing this before you started programming the thing. Right? And setting these relationships up and talking to them in terms of numbers as well. Not just, hey, I have a fantastic product here. You should sell it to your list. We'll make a ton of money. What's that? It's too vague again.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. You keep talking about affiliates and affiliate marketing. Does that mean that you only use funnels for people who are doing affiliate marketing?
No. Just something I thought a lot of your listeners might be interested in.
Tell us a little bit more about what the heck is affiliate marketing. I don't know if they even know what that is.
Okay. Well, yeah, I kind of hit it early on. Affiliate marketing is when somebody else has this cup. They make it, they provide it, they sell it, right? And they sell it through their means. So it's their sales page. Whatever's on it is their content. So their video sales letter, their written sales letter, right? That's what it is. You can't say, hey, I want you to change this thing over here to a Jolly Roger flag or something like that, or add in the word 17 or something like that there, right? That's everything out of like the lead generation process and qualifying is out of your control. The whole conversion side is theirs. However, if we were to go on something like ClickBank, which I don't spend any time on, but I know many marketplaces that do recommend that. There's a ton of stuff on there for sale, and you can look for gravity, which is an indicator of how good it is, and see, okay, which of these offers is already converting, right? And that's good. That's good for you, right? Because now you are not the one testing. So if you're afraid of copywriting, for example, or just go like, honestly, I'm not a writer, right? Then this is a good chance for you, because it's like proven. Like if we send the right kind of traffic to this offer, people have bought. People are likely to buy. That's good, right? So at that point, as an affiliate marketer, it would be your job to get leads in from some source and warm them up. Tell them why this thing's important. Tell them why you like it, right? Put some personality in there. If it's bland, it's probably not going to have any effect, right? So you get some personality in there, share a couple stories. You can talk about features and benefits or whatever, but they can get that somewhere else, right? So you want some kind of an angle on why they should buy through you. And then at the end of this qualification phase, you're going to send them, or maybe multiple times, right? At the end of each of these 4 indoctrination emails, I'm going to conclude with a link over to the sales page. And the nice thing here is that you have multiple opportunities to get the sale here. So that's the deal with affiliate marketing.
And you get a percentage. You get some amount of money every time that you get somebody to go to this other page, correct?
It depends on the arrangement. That would be pay per lead.
Okay.
What you were just talking about.
Well,
that's one arrangement.
What's the point of sending all of these people to somebody else's site if you're not going to get something from it?
Well, you will. Okay, so the other one is like pay per sale, right? When they buy and they send their credit card in, and it processes, and the seller makes the $100, you'll get 30 or 50 or whatever it is, right? That you've agreed on. That's getting paid per sale. But a pay per lead could look like I'm just going to send hops. That's a person who hops from your area to that web page, let's say, and it's tracked by a link, and you'll see this stuff in the URL bar up top. So you get, but it's going to be pennies, like compared to the dollars that you could make on a sale. The other thing, there's kind of a mid-level to that I see, say through like Max Bounty or other places like that, where if you can send traffic and they fill out or open a membership account, basically a free trial account or something like that, there you can get paid dollars for that. There's a guy I know who wrote a very good book on that, a very good manual on how to do that kind of pay-per-lead marketing. So
wow,
there's different levels. Yeah, many choices.
Lots of things to think about, and my brain's swarming trying to figure
you know what
out
the funny thing is? Most of the things we've talked about, I don't have anything to do with on a daily basis. I know about them, I have done them, but I certainly don't concentrate on them. So, but everybody should have a good understanding of how a funnel works, just like everybody should be able to do, division and multiplication. So
you just said this isn't something that you do on a regular basis. What is it that Jason Kanigan does on a regular basis? What if somebody wanted to say, I really liked this conversation, you're really knowledgeable, I want to hire you, what would they hire you for?
Okay. So there would be no point in trying to do that unless you're getting probably close to that $40,000 a month mark. Okay. Because it's not going to be cheap. I've been frankly kicked in the nuts for a lot of years to learn what I've learned and stuck it out. And I give away a lot of stuff. I have a lot of free stuff. videos, hundreds of videos, articles. I've got a blog that's been around for 4 years at salestactics.org. I mean, tons of free stuff for you to go get, okay?
Tell us where we go get those things.
Yeah. Well, I have a YouTube channel. You could just search for my name. Or you can go to, like I said, salestactics.org. jasonkanigan.org is also a good site. It's a video blog with about a dozen articles on there, I think. They cover a lot of the basics of how to run a business. Like business fundamentals is a big thing. I'll give you a freebie here. You guys go to salestactics.org/bootstrap. Okay? salestactics.org/bootstrap. I have a free audio series there about business fundamentals. A lot of the newbies don't care for it because it's not fluffy and it doesn't promise magic results. It is foundational, but they're not my target market anyway.
Right.
But the serious people with experience have exclaimed like, wow, nobody's talking about this stuff, and more people should be. This is the kind of foundational stuff that everybody needs if you want to be successful in business. Right. So what I do is help business owners who are already doing okay scale fast. And so what happens is, see, at the newbie level, money is usually a problem, right? Revenue is, but if you can get
absolutely
like this, that's the point where I ought to be involved, because revenue, it turns out, and this may be an education for people listening, revenue is not a solution for every problem. Money can actually cover up a lot of problems. And also, as a lot of people who got into e-commerce found out and did okay, significant increases in cash flow. Increasing cash flow can kill your business just as fast as drying up cash flow. There's people now, last month, the month before, had to be buying their stuff to sell at Christmas time on Amazon. They had to order it then. And so that means they had to have $500,000 or $3 million sitting around then, right? So if you can't handle that, right, you're not going to get to the big payoff at the end of the year. So somebody who's got that money revenue thing figured out thinks that it's going to solve all the problems, and then what happens is they run into this bumpy ride, right? And I've been releasing a podcast lately called the Cold Star Project, which again you can go find on YouTube. I'm adding at least one solo podcast and one interview podcast, kind of like this, with tech founders who are scaling fast each week. And the beauty of that is those guys and gals are sharing their stories about scaling. So it's not just me jumping up and down and saying, look, these are problems, right? It's somebody else who's actually been there also saying, yes, these things happen. So internal communications, projects stalling at the start that just kills profit, nothing ever happens, that can kill the relationship very well. Technology issues, again, those are usually at the bottom. Mostly it's about processes and SOPs. I think there's a great, very slow wave of education going on about general business fundamentals in the online marketing world. Like I said, back in 2012, nobody was talking about a funnel. Now it's a pretty well understood term. And I think SOPs and processes will be a part of a complete breakfast when it comes to businesses in the next 5 years or so. And my business documents and improves on those processes. That's a major thing. Now, I got asked, I don't drink anymore, but my wife enjoys a drink once in a while, and I went into the liquor store for some rum, which is weird because I don't drink it. I haven't since 2012, and so it's like a jail environment going up to that big, tall desk there. I don't like it at all. But lady somehow figured out that I was a business owner, and she asked me what I did, and I kind of said, no. It's not easy to explain, because how do you say we do process engineering for businesses? It's just a term that most people aren't familiar with. So what it entails is interviewing and flow charting and writing down those processes like task by task, right? What does somebody do? And then there's another side to it, because people will not always tell you the truth. I know it's hard to hear, and many of you have employees and you believe they're the sweetest, most wonderful people in the world, and I love them too, but they will lie. They will say, oh yeah, I take the item from here to here to here, from A to B to C, but the truth is they take it directly from A to C and bypass B. And that could impact customer experience, the quality of the product, deliverability, your own internal tracking, your numbers will be off, right? Any number of things. And so on this podcast, we share 2 stories that I and my guests have found where people have literally been stealing from the business. And sometimes it's in the form of taking money straight out of the till. I've had that happen. And also a little more subtle, like gaming the productivity and how they're paid, because they're in a factory and they're getting paid piecework. So they game it so that they get paid a lot of money. And we found out those things too. So, but things like that are often going on right under the nose of a scaling business owner who is too busy, frankly, with everything else that's going on, right? And driving sales and making sure that the product gets delivered well, fulfilled well, to really dig into these things. I have a service called the Red Team Experience. It's my ex co-founder suggested that name to me, and it's kind of a Tom Clancy thing where you put on your red hats, and that's sort of the bad guys, the opposing team, right? The blue team is the good team. And so the Red Team Experience is we, my people and I at Cold Star, put on our red hats and kind of try and break your business. And we do an analysis where we find out strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, threats, that kind of thing, right? Do it all up in a nice report for you. It's not that expensive. It's not in the 5-figure range. It's in the mid to high 4 figures. But so for the growing business that wants to know, hey, what do you guys see that I can't see, that I'm too busy to see, or I don't know what I don't know, and I at least know that, right? For the business owner who wants the truth, and this is a scary thing, Nancy, for a lot of people. A lot of business owners don't want to know the truth. No. But if you're the kind of business owner who wants to know with extreme clarity what's really going on in your world, this is for you.
Need to have something like that.
And that's at coldstartech.com/red-team.
Cool. That's great. Well, boy, Jason, so much information for us today. Thank you so much for all of that. And I encourage everyone to go check out those webinars and the YouTube channel and all of the information that he has to share with us. I know that there's a lot to be learned and a lot to think about if you're thinking about doing some funnel work with your business. And you've got the emails, you've got all of the information that he has shared with you. So I highly recommend that everybody check it out. Is there anything before we leave, anything else that you quickly would like to share with us that you think we need to know?
Just a reminder not to feel too overwhelmed. I know we talked about, oh boy, I got to have all my ducks in a row and the funnel needs to look so fancy and that. No, it all just starts with one lead coming in and getting qualified and then going to a conversion tool. That's it. That's it. And so if you just think about it that way, like, look, I'm going to turn this tap on. I don't know how fast the water drops are going to come out, which are your leads, right? I don't know yet, right? But track it. Track your numbers, right? Over a week, how many do I get? Over a month, how many do I get? Okay. And then how many did I send to the conversion tool and how did that work out?
It's not something you want to do in a hurry, is it? It's something that takes time.
Yeah, it depends on your skill level, obviously, but sure. It's okay for it to take a little while. Yeah. I wouldn't get discouraged. This is a long game, but the nice thing is if you develop these skills, no one can take them away from you. I mean, I could be in a gulag in Siberia and still know what I know and make use of it, actually.
Well, that's great. Thank you again so much, Jason. Sure. I really appreciate your spending the time with us today. And everybody, don't forget, you can hear Don't Wait Till Pigs Fly Thursdays at 5 p.m. Eastern. You can hear it on Spreaker.com, iHeartRadio, SoundCloud and Spotify. All those different stations are now broadcasting the show, and please listen to them, subscribe to them, make comments, let us know the kinds of things that you like to know about, you have questions on, and we will talk to you again in the future. You can reach me at Nancy@Don'tWaitTillPigsFly. And until next time, everybody soar higher. Bye-bye, y'all.
Thank you for listening to Don't Wait Till Pigs Fly with host Nancy Becker. Join Nancy every Thursday at 5 p.m. Eastern on Global Voice Radio.